Okay, next we're going to show you some basic paver techniques. Now, pavers in Planner consist of things like driveways, sidewalks, and patios. Now, what we're going to do is we're first going to draw in a driveway, and then we're going to do a sidewalk and then a patio. We're going to use several different paver tools to do these type of structures. Now, on the EasyScape toolbar, you're going to find there's an EasyScape Close Paver tool located here. I'll go ahead and select that. Okay, and I want to zoom in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll in. Now, when we scroll in, you'll notice that if you move your mouse to a point that you want to scroll into, and if you have a scroll wheel on your mouse and you're pointing to that area, it will scroll in directly to that area. So if I want to scroll in here, I just point my mouse here and scroll in like so. Okay, now that I want to draw in this paver driveway, what we can do is we can click on the corner here, and then I'll move over and click on the corner here, and then I'll move down and click here, and then I'll move over. Now if I wanted to, I could come along and click along this curve through here and do several click points, but I'm going to skip over those for now, and I'm going to go over here and just click here, and then I'm done. So I right click and that drops that down. Okay, I'll go ahead and do another right click and that releases it from my cursor. Okay, the same way that I bent the property line, I'm also going to bend the line of the paver area here. So I'll double click on the perimeter of that paver, and then I'll mouse over the lower line here, and I'll press the Control key on the keyboard, and I'll click, and then I'll pull that up, and that will allow me to add a slight arc to that line, like so. And I'll release, and that drops that down. Now I release my Control key, and then I'm done. So I right click again, and that releases that technique and gets back out of the edit vertice mode. I can also hit the escape key, and that will also get out of that mode. Okay, now you'll notice on the paver here, it has a hatch pattern. This is what's called the concrete hatch pattern. If I want to change it to a different hatch pattern, I can go up to the toolbars, and you'll see here on the property bar there is a paint bucket. If I want to change this to a solid color, I could do that. If I want to do a gradient color, I could do that. Or if I just want it to be none, I can select it here. Okay, if I want a hatch, I'll select this one. Okay, now if I want to change the hatch pattern, I go over to this next selector, and you'll see here that I have several hatch patterns to choose from. Okay, I want to go ahead and I want to change this to one called sand. So I'll select sand. Okay, you'll notice when I did that, it turned a dark pink color, and if I scroll in, you'll see that I can zoom in and out of that hatch pattern. Now, with it selected, what I can do, if I don't want that pattern to be so tight and dense, what we can do is we can change the scale up here in the toolbars. It's currently set at 5. Let's go ahead and set that at 25 and press enter, and you'll see it starts to loosen that hatch pattern up. Okay, so that's how we change the hatch pattern and the hatch scale of a paver. Alright, next let's go ahead and draw a sidewalk from here over to the driveway. Now to do this, we're going to select a different type of tool. I'll go to the Draw menu and select Pavers and Edge. Now what I want to do with this is define one edge of this paver walkway. So I'll come up here and I'll just click on the foundation wall, and I'll come down, click here, then I'll go over to the driveway, click there, and I'm done. So I right click, and that drops that curve down. Now if I want to change the curvature of this line slightly, what we can do is we can double click on that line or that curve, And this gets into the edit vertice mode where I can grab these vertice points and I can modify that shape just like that. Okay. I'll do a right click to get out of there and release that tool. Alright, next I'm going to want to do a pathway through here. So this is just one edge. So what I want to do is I want to create an offset exactly 3 feet over from this line. So again, we go up to our draw menu and select pavers and create offset edge and paver. So it's going to create an offset edge and then add a paver area to it. So I'll select that. Now before I select my line here, I want to go up to the edit bar and I want to change the distance. This is the offset distance or the path width. Currently it's set at 3 feet. Let's go ahead and leave it at 3 feet. Okay, now you'll see when I approach this line it wants to offset several things here. So I want to offset this on the inside of that paver edge that I dropped there. So I just get it to where I want it there, and then I click and it adds that pathway. Now if I do a right click, that will release that. Now I need to tidy this up just a little bit. So the way I do that is I just double click to get into that edit vertice mode. And let's go ahead and scroll in, and what I'm going to do is just grab this end point of this paver and come right over to the driveway, and then I'm going to grab this one and pull it up so that it's just touching the driveway there. Alright, so that's how we can do a paver path. Now let's go ahead and show you another one of the paver tools. If we go up to the draw menu and go to paver, and we'll select rectangle. Okay, I'm going to drop a patio on the back of this structure. So I'll just come up here and click where I want it to start, and then I move over, and that will tell me the dimensions of this patio area. Okay, when I get to the point that I want, I just click and that drops that in. Okay, now whenever we use the proper tool to draw in these paver areas, it keeps track of the square footage of how much area that we'll need to cover this. So what we can do is we can right click on this paver area, and if we go down and select Irregular Polygon Info, we're going to see here next to the call out how many square feet is included in that area. So that paver patio is 206 square feet of pavers. Okay, another way to get into that same window is if I select a paver area such as this one and press the question mark on the keyboard, that will give me the same type of information. So you'll see here that on the call out it says that it's 786 square feet of concrete that I'll need for this driveway. Okay, so those are the basic techniques to draw in pavers, driveways, and sidewalks. In a later video we'll show you some more complex paver areas.